What if I told you that, beneath your feet right now, an entire civilization thrives in ways we cannot imagine? What if the very ground you walk on is nothing more than a thin shell hiding the greatest secret in human history? What if everything you've been taught about our planet is a carefully constructed lie? Stay with me until the end of this journey, because what you're about to discover will shatter every assumption you've ever held about our world. The evidence is overwhelming. The testimonies are undeniable, and the implications, they will change everything you thought you knew about reality itself. Welcome, seeker of hidden truths, to a realm where ancient wisdom meets forbidden knowledge. I'm here to guide you through the deepest mystery our planet has ever held. Today, we dive into the abyss of the unknown. Today, we explore the hollow Earth. Have you ever wondered why certain areas of our planet remain classified? Why military expeditions to the poles are shrouded in secrecy? Why indigenous cultures across the globe share identical stories of underground world? The answer lies beneath us. Literally, for centuries, brilliant minds have proposed what mainstream science calls impossible. The hollow Earth theory suggests our planet is not a solid sphere, but a hollow shell with openings at both poles. Inside this shell, a world exists that makes our surface civilization look primitive by comparison. But this isn't just theory anymore. This is documented reality hidden in plain sight. Let me take you back to where it all began. Ancient civilizations knew what we've forgotten. The Greeks spoke of the underworld. Hindu texts describe Patala, the subterranean realm. Buddhist traditions mention Agartha, the hidden kingdom beneath the Earth's surface. These weren't myths. They were memories. Picture this. You're standing at the North Pole, but there's no solid ice beneath your feet. Instead, there's a massive opening, hundreds of miles wide, leading into the Earth's interior. Satellite images conveniently blur these areas. Weather patterns behave strangely near the poles, and anyone who gets too close, well, they either disappear or return with stories that sound too incredible to believe. But let's examine the evidence, shall we? Polar explorers have reported the same phenomena for over a century. Temperatures that rise instead of fall as they approach the poles. Compass needles spinning wildly. Fresh water in regions where only salt water should exist. And most mysteriously, aurora lights appearing where they shouldn't according to conventional science. The aurora borealis and aurora australis aren't just charged particles hitting our atmosphere. They're light emanating from the inner world, bleeding through the polar openings. The indigenous Inuit people have always known this. They call it the light of their ancestors, who live in the warm lands below the ice. Think about it. Why would satellite images of the poles be consistently obscured or altered? Why would Google Earth show a perfect circle of clouds covering the North Pole region at all times? What are they hiding? Let's go deeper into the most documented case in modern history. Admiral Richard E. Byrd, naval officer, polar explorer, and the man whose testimony about the hollow Earth was systematically suppressed by world governments. In 1947, Byrd embarked on Operation Highjump, an expedition to Antarctica involving over 4,000 personnel and advanced military equipment. The official story: a routine exploration mission. The reality: something far more extraordinary. Byrd's private diary, released decades after his death, tells a different story. A story of flying over the South Pole and discovering an opening that led to a lush, green land with rivers and forests. A land where the temperature was warm despite being in Antarctica. A land inhabited by beings of extraordinary intelligence and advanced technology. According to his diary, Byrd was escorted by disc-shaped aircraft to an underground city where he met with beings who called themselves the guardians of planet Earth. These beings spoke of the surface world's atomic weapons with deep concern. They warned that humanity was walking toward destruction, and that they had been watching us since our first atomic tests. But here's what makes this account truly chilling. Byrd's diary describes technology that was decades ahead of anything available in 1947. Flying vehicles with no visible means of propulsion. Cities that seemed to glow with their own inner light. Beings who communicated telepathically and demonstrated knowledge of the surface world that should have been impossible to obtain. When Byrd returned to the surface, he was immediately debriefed by military officials and sworn to secrecy. His subsequent public statements were carefully scripted, but between the lines, the truth leaked out. He spoke of lands beyond the poles that could support civilization, of resources that could benefit all mankind, and of discoveries that would revolutionize our understanding of our planet. Remember, this is not some anonymous testimony. This is a decorated naval officer with an impeccable reputation, describing encounters that align perfectly with accounts from other polar explorers, dating back centuries. Now let's explore the crown jewel of Hollow Earth theory. Agartha, the legendary underground kingdom that may not be a legend at all. Agartha isn't just mentioned in one culture. It appears in Buddhist texts, Hindu scriptures, European folklore, and Native American traditions. The consistency across these diverse cultures is impossible to ignore. They describe the same place, the same beings, the same advanced civilization thriving beneath our feet. According to these sources, Agartha is ruled by the king of the world, a being of immense wisdom and power who guides the spiritual evolution of both the inner and surface worlds. The capital city, Shambhala, is described as a place of incredible beauty where technology and spirituality exist in perfect harmony. But here's where it gets really interesting. The beings of Agartha aren't trapped underground. They regularly visit the surface world through a network of tunnels and caverns that connect to the hollow interior. These tunnels, some say, can be found beneath major mountain ranges, deep ocean trenches, and even beneath certain cities around the world. The Tibetan monks speak of these tunnels. They call them the paths to the inner world, and some monasteries are said to be built over entrance points. The Dalai Lama himself has made cryptic references to the people below who watch over humanity's spiritual development. Native American tribes across North America have similar stories. The Hopi speak of the ant people who live beneath the earth and have helped humanity survive previous world catastrophes. The Cherokee tell of the Nunai, the immortal people who live in the mountains and underwater, moving freely between our world and theirs. Are these all coincidences? Are these separate cultures somehow inventing identical mythologies about underground civilizations? Or are they all describing the same reality we've been taught to dismiss as fantasy? Let's examine the physical evidence for these entrance points to the inner world. Mount Shasta, in Northern California, has long been associated with unusual phenomena and reported entrances to underground realms. Hikers report strange lights, unusual electromagnetic readings, and encounters with beings who don't seem entirely human. The mountain itself shows geological anomalies that conventional science struggles to explain. The Mammoth Cave system in Kentucky is another hotspot. With over 400 miles of surveyed passages and new discoveries being made regularly, some researchers believe the deepest sections may connect to much larger underground networks. Cave explorers have reported finding carved passages that seem too regular to be natural, and air currents that suggest vast open spaces beyond the mapped areas. In Tibet, the Potala Palace and surrounding mountains are riddled with tunnel systems that the monks claim extend far deeper than any official surveys indicate. Some of these tunnels, according to local accounts, lead to chambers where the temperature remains constant year-round, and the walls seem to emit a faint, natural luminescence. But perhaps the most intriguing entrance point is in Antarctica itself. The Byrd expedition wasn't the only group to report anomalies in this region. Russian scientists stationed at Vostok Research Station have documented temperature readings and ice formations that don't match expected patterns. Deep ice core samples have revealed air pockets and materials that shouldn't exist, according to our understanding of polar geology. And then there are the ocean entrances. Deep ocean trenches, like the Mariana Trench, may be more than just the deepest points on Earth. They may be gateways. Submarine crews have reported strange lights and metallic objects moving at impossible speeds in these deep regions. The pressure and darkness make investigation nearly impossible, creating the perfect hiding place for entrance points to inner Earth civilizations. Now we enter the most controversial territory: direct encounters with beings from the inner world. These aren't just ancient stories anymore. Modern witnesses, people with no reason to fabricate such experiences, have reported meeting beings who claim to originate from below the Earth's surface. The accounts share remarkable consistency. These beings are typically described as taller than average humans, with elongated limbs and luminous skin. They possess technologies that seem like magic to us, but are apparently commonplace in their civilization. They travel in craft that move silently and can apparently shift between dimensions or phases of existence. But here's what's most significant about these encounters. The beings consistently express concern about humanity's impact on the planet's ecosystem. They speak of the surface world's atomic weapons, environmental destruction, and spiritual degradation with deep sadness. They claim to have been monitoring us for thousands of years, occasionally intervening to prevent complete catastrophe. Some contactees report being taken to underground cities where they witness advanced agriculture, producing foods they've never seen before, water systems that seem to generate their own energy, transportation systems that move without any visible power source, and most remarkably, healing technologies that can repair any injury or illness by working directly with what they call the body's energy matrix. The beings speak of a time when surface and inner Earth civilizations lived in harmony. They claim that ancient, advanced civilizations, like Atlantis and Lemuria, were joint ventures between surface and inner world peoples. The catastrophes that destroyed these civilizations forced the inner world beings to retreat deeper underground and limit their contact with surface dwellers. But now, they say, that time of separation is ending. As humanity approaches a critical evolutionary threshold, the inner world beings are gradually revealing themselves again. The increasing number of UFO sightings, they claim, aren't extraterrestrial visits, but inner Earth beings monitoring our progress and preparing for eventual reunification. Here's where the story takes a darker turn. If hollow Earth civilizations exist, if there really are entrance points scattered across our planet, if advanced beings are living beneath us, why isn't this common knowledge? The answer reveals a conspiracy of silence that spans generation. Government agencies have systematically suppressed hollow Earth research for decades. Scientists who pursue this line of investigation find their funding cut, their careers ruined, their research classified. Explorers who claim to have found entrance points are discredited, their expeditions shut down, their evidence confiscated. Why? Because the implications are too massive for existing power structures to handle. Imagine if the public knew that advanced civilizations existed beneath our feet. Civilizations with technologies that could end poverty, cure diseases, and provide unlimited clean energy. Civilizations that have watched our surface world struggle with problems they solved millennia ago. Dissolved millennia ago. The economic implications alone would collapse current systems overnight. Why would anyone accept scarcity when abundance exists just beneath our feet? Why would anyone tolerate pollution when clean technology is available? Why would anyone accept death from diseases when healing technologies exist in the inner world? But the suppression is breaking down. Too many witnesses are coming forward. Too much evidence is accumulating. Too many anomalies are being documented by independent researchers who can't be silenced or discredited. The internet has made it impossible to control information flow completely. Satellite imagery, though often altered, sometimes reveals anomalies before they can be corrected. Deep ocean exploration is uncovering formations that don't fit official explanations. And polar research, despite heavy restrictions, continues to produce data that supports hollow Earth theories. Let's address the scientific objections to hollow Earth theory with scientific evidence. Mainstream geology claims the Earth's interior is molten rock and metal based on seismic wave studies. But here's what they don't tell you. Seismic waves show anomalies that don't fit the solid Earth model. There are regions where seismic waves behave in ways that suggest large hollow spaces. There are areas where the expected temperatures and pressures don't match what instruments actually measure. The gravitational field of Earth also shows irregularities that could be explained by a hollow interior. If the Earth's mass were concentrated in a shell rather than distributed throughout a solid sphere, the gravitational effects would be exactly what we observe. And then there's the magnetic field. The Earth's magnetism doesn't behave like it would if generated by a solid iron core. Instead, it shows patterns consistent with electromagnetic activity in a hollow space with openings at the poles. The aurora phenomena at both poles emit light frequencies that don't match the standard explanation of solar particles hitting our atmosphere. Even more compelling is the evidence from deep drilling projects. When drilling reaches certain depths, unexpected pockets of air are encountered. Temperatures sometimes decrease when they should increase. And in some cases, equipment has broken through into what appear to be vast empty spaces. The Kola Superdeep Borehole project in Russia, which drilled deeper into the Earth than any previous attempt, encountered anomalies that were never properly explained. Temperatures weren't what models predicted. Rock formations didn't match geological expectations. And There were acoustic anomalies that some researchers interpreted as evidence of massive hollow spaces deeper in the Earth. Throughout history, explorers and adventurers have reported discoveries that suggest hollow Earth realities, but their accounts have been systematically altered or suppressed. The Vikings spoke of warm lands beyond the northern ice. Their sagas describe sailing through polar openings into a realm where the sun never sets and green lands extend as far as the eye can see. These weren't metaphorical descriptions. They were navigational records passed down through generations of seafaring peoples. Captain John Cleves Sims, Jr., a decorated War of 1812 veteran, spent years promoting the hollow Earth theory based on his extensive research and the accounts of other explorers. He petitioned the U.S. government to fund an expedition to prove his theories. The government initially showed interest, but suddenly withdrew support after Siam began gathering too much compelling evidence. Russian explorers in Siberia have documented cave systems that extend much deeper than officially acknowledged. Some of these caves have air currents that suggest they connect to vast underground spaces. Local, indigenous peoples speak of entire villages that exist deep in these cave systems, hidden from the surface world. Even NASA has inadvertently provided evidence for hollow Earth theories. Satellite images sometimes capture thermal anomalies at the poles that suggest heat sources beneath the ice. These images are quickly removed from public access, but not before independent researchers can document them. Based on contactee reports and ancient texts, inner Earth civilizations possess technologies that could revolutionize our surface world overnight. Their energy systems apparently work by tapping into the Earth's natural electromagnetic field. They've learned to harness the planet's own energy in ways that provide unlimited power without any environmental impact. Some witnesses describe cities that glow with their own light, powered by crystalline structures that seem to convert the Earth's energy into usable forms. Their transportation systems include vehicles that can move through solid rock as easily as we move through air. These craft apparently manipulate gravitational and electromagnetic fields to achieve movement that seems impossible by our physics. The same technology allows them to travel between the inner and outer worlds through the tunnel systems that connect both realms. But perhaps most significantly, their healing technologies work by understanding and manipulating what they call the energy body that surrounds and interpenetrates physical matter. They can diagnose and treat conditions by working directly with these energy patterns, achieving healing that seems miraculous by our standards. Their agricultural systems produce food with nutritional density far beyond anything we've achieved on the surface. They've learned to work in harmony with the Earth's natural cycles in ways that increase rather than deplete the planet's resources. Some contactees report tasting fruits and vegetables in the inner world that provide complete nutrition in small amounts and seem to increase physical and mental vitality for weeks after consumption. The hollow Earth isn't just about physical civilizations beneath our feet. It represents a spiritual reality that mainstream religion and science have both ignored. Ancient spiritual traditions understand the Earth as a living being with its own consciousness and energy systems. The inner world represents the spiritual heart of the planet, the source of life energy that sustains all surface life. The beings who live there aren't just technologically advanced. They're spiritually evolved in ways that allow them to live in perfect harmony with the planet's consciousness. This explains why encounters with inner Earth beings often include telepathic communication and profound spiritual experiences. These beings operate from a level of consciousness that most surface humans have forgotten. They can perceive the interconnectedness of all life and work with natural laws that we've lost touch with. The entrance points to the inner world aren't just physical locations. They're also spiritual gateways that can only be accessed by those who have reached a certain level of consciousness development. This is why most people can walk right past an entrance point without ever seeing it. It's not hidden by technology alone. It's hidden by the spiritual blindness that comes from living disconnected from the Earth's consciousness. Many spiritual traditions speak of ascending masters who guide humanity's evolution from hidden locations. These may not be metaphorical beings living in spiritual dimensions. They may be the advanced souls who have chosen to incarnate in the inner world civilizations, working to guide surface humanity back to harmony with the planet. We're living in unprecedented times. The barriers between inner and outer worlds are becoming thinner. More people are having contact experiences. More evidence is surfacing, despite suppression efforts. More spiritual seekers are receiving inner guidance about the reality beneath our feet. This isn't happening by accident. According to multiple sources, both inner Earth beings and our surface world contacts, we're approaching a time of great transition. The surface civilization is reaching a critical point where it must either evolve to a higher level of consciousness or face extinction through environmental destruction and social collapse. The inner world beings have been preparing for this moment for generations. They've been gradually increasing their presence in our world, appearing to selected individuals who can help prepare humanity for eventual open contact. The increasing number of UFO sightings and paranormal experiences may be part of this preparation process, but the transition won't be automatic. Surface humanity must demonstrate readiness for contact with advanced civilizations. This means developing spiritual maturity, healing our relationship with the Earth, and learning to live in harmony rather than exploitation and conflict. The hollow Earth reality serves as both inspiration and challenge. It shows us what's possible when civilizations develop in alignment with natural laws rather than in opposition to them. It offers hope that advanced technology and spiritual wisdom can coexist, and it presents us with the choice between continuing our destructive path or evolving to join the greater community of conscious beings. If hollow Earth civilizations exist, what does this mean for how we live our lives right now? First, it changes everything about our relationship with the planet. We're not alone on a dead rock floating through space. We're living on the surface of a living world that hosts multiple levels of conscious civilization. Our actions don't just affect surface ecology. They affect beings and civilizations that have been watching over us for millennia. Second, it suggests that solutions to our greatest challenges already exist. The technologies to end poverty, cure diseases, and heal environmental damage aren't science fiction. They're already developed and in use in civilizations beneath our feet. Our task isn't to invent these solutions from scratch. It's to evolve to the point where we can receive and responsibly use advanced technologies. Third, it means that death may not be the end of individual consciousness. Many accounts suggest that inner Earth civilizations have solved the problems of aging and death through their advanced understanding of consciousness and energy. This doesn't mean surface humans can immediately access these abilities, but it suggests possibilities for human development that mainstream science hasn't even imagined. Fourth, it implies that education and spiritual development should focus on reconnecting with the Earth's consciousness and natural laws, rather than on exploitation and control of natural resources. The beings of Agartha apparently live in abundance because they've learned to work with the planet's energy systems rather than against them. So here we stand at the threshold between worlds, between the reality we've been taught and the reality that exists beneath our feet, between the limitations we've accepted and the possibilities that await us. The evidence is overwhelming. The testimonies are consistent. The implications are staggering. Beneath the earth you walk on, advanced civilizations thrive with technologies that could transform our world overnight. Beings of incredible wisdom watch our development with compassion and concern. Sacred sites around the planet hide entrance points to realms where spiritual and material advancement have reached heights we can barely imagine. But this isn't just about them. This is about us, about humanity, standing at a crossroads between evolution and extinction, about choosing between fear and wonder, about opening our minds to possibilities that have been hidden in plain sight. The hollow earth isn't waiting to be discovered. It's waiting for us to remember who we really are, to remember our connection to the living earth, to remember that we're not alone in the universe or even on our own planet. The next phase of human evolution may not involve traveling to the stars. It may involve going deeper into the earth beneath us and reconnecting with the ancient civilizations that have been our guardians all along. The choice is ours. We can continue living on the surface of reality, accepting limitation and scarcity as inevitable. Or we can open our hearts and minds to the infinite possibilities that exist in the hollow earth beneath our feet. The beings of Agartha are waiting. The entrance points are revealing themselves. The time of separation between worlds is ending. Are you ready to remember what lies beneath? If this video has opened your mind to new possibilities, share it with someone who's ready to question everything they thought they knew about our world. And tell me in the comments below, have you ever experienced anything that might be connected to the hollow earth reality? Your experiences matter, and they may be exactly what someone else needs to hear to begin their own journey of discovery. The truth is down there, waiting for those brave enough to seek it.